Hello, Sagittarius Rising. This is your reading for the month of June 2024. My name's Podkane, and if you're here in your Sagittarius sun and maybe you don't know what your rising sign is, I have a link below in the description to astrochart.com. What you're going to need is your exact time of birth, which most people can find on their birth certificate. Just click on the birth chart on the website, enter in your time and place of birth, as well as a date, of course. And what you're looking for is your ascendant position, which is also known as the rising sign. Having said all that, this reading is going to be pretty big and a little long. It's about 26 cards, maybe even a little more. And it's going to be talking about things going on in your practical life, like work and family and home. And it's also going to be a second reading after that, talking about your mental state, like what you're thinking about a lot, and your perspective on life, what's driving you, what your aspiration is, and maybe even a little bit of some help getting through this next month and focusing on the theme of that. So, having said all of that, let's get started. So here's the decks that I picked out for you today. We're going to start with an archetype card for you. That's just going to be like the main theme and the energy, the archetype that you're inhabiting this month, as well as my classic Rider-Waite deck to start it off. And then I have the Mystic Mondays Tarot that I picked out for you because it's shiny and it's cute. And I don't know, that's Sagittarius when I thought of this deck. So that's what we're going to use for you today. So having said that, again, we're going to pull a card for you, shuffle real quick. I hope all of you are having a great summer so far and getting to travel a little bit, or get out if you can. Even if it's just a short distance, kind of changing up your scenery is always kind of, if not refreshing, at least exciting. I am never very relaxed when I go on vacation. It's actually the opposite. I come back more stressed than I was. But I have an adventure, and that's why I still like to go on vacation from time to time, because I'm much more comfortable and at peace at my home. But that's just me. So starting you off here, we have the companion card, loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness. So it looks like your month is going to be kind of themed around your relationships. So let's get some more information. Let's see what's going on for you. I personally don't know too many Sagittarius risings in my life, so I'm interested to see meet some of y'all, see what's going on in your lives. Burp into the microphone, hopefully make you laugh. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm drinking like a mocha iced coffee, and maybe that's it. I don't know. I literally have not stopped. It's a problem. Well, I got to get it done today. I've got a time frame I'm trying to work with getting these done. So, burping or not, we're just going to keep on going. And I hope you can laugh at me. Okay. These flew out 2 aces just to start out with. I can hear someone talking outside. And I have an intense desire to eavesdrop. I'm going to suppress that desire and stay focused on what I'm doing. And if you hadn't been to the channel and you just clicked on this reading, then you may not know, but this is my first round of doing tarot readings on YouTube. So even though I've been reading tarot for a long time, and this is something I've wanted to do for a long time, it took me fucking forever to work up the balls and the motivation and get all my stuff together to make it happen. So here I am. I've really enjoyed it so far. It's not even as scary as I thought it would be. I mean, time will tell, obviously, but I'm just glad I did it. And if you're watching this around the time of its posting for June in 2024, I really appreciate you. Okay, so at the base of the deck, we have the Two of Wands reverse, which is kind of showing a theme right now for you in June of not really having any plans or or goals right now. You're not really planning anything. Maybe you parted ways with a partner recently. That could also be a meaning of that card. But it's just kind of showing maybe there's a bit of aimlessness happening, but we'll get more information as the cards go around and see how that plays into it. So in the first position, we have how you appear to other people, and they see you as having an abundance of financial things to offer or material things to offer. So maybe you are making some money, and you seem to have some amount of wealth, or you have new growth in your life. And there's all different ways that can mean. These are very archetypal cards. They don't have exactly specific meanings except for the surrounding cards will tell you more about it. So in this position, I suggest that people are kind of seeing you in a lot of different ways. And the only way that we can define that right now is that they're seeing you as having an abundance of money or security or stability, as well as an abundance of new love, compassion, emotions. You're just kind of in this earthy and emotionally open state right now, and people are perceiving you differently depending on the context of maybe how they know you. Next, we have what do you have? And we have the Four of Cups upright, which is a card of kind of indecision and dissatisfaction. This person is being offered many different things, and they're just sitting there like arms folded, like, I don't like what's on offer. I'm not satisfied with any of this. None of this is really hitting. And none of this really seems like something I really asked for, and yet here you are offering all of this. And it could also describe kind of a dissatisfaction, disinterest, or detachment from life at this time. It also could suggest that you're just not really seeing what you want to see right now going on in your life. You're not happy with the results at this time. Next, we have what you think, and we have the Seven of Swords upright. So you're trying to be strategic, and you're even trying to think of some kind of sneaky way that you can make a situation happen to benefit you. You're thinking of plans and schemes and projects and ideas, and looking for ways that you can kind of get ahead or get a leg up or make things happen for you right now. Lots of planning and scheming. At your home life, you have the Knight of Pentacles reversed, which means that things may have come to a complete standstill. Things may be completely stagnant. If you were trying to move house, or you were trying to make things happen with someone that you're living with, whether that's a partner or a roommate or some other relationship, things just aren't moving right now. Things are at a standstill. They're stagnant. And there's also maybe a lack of follow through, or someone kind of letting you down in the home, or maybe your home situation isn't coming out to all that you hoped that it would be. This could also be like something falling apart in the home. So maybe in June you have an issue with the crack appears in the walls, or something breaks down, or you have to get your roof replaced, or something like that. It's just kind of showing a bit of physical material issues going on in the home that are kind of regressive and at the very least stagnant. They're not going the way that you had hoped. Next, we have your self-expression, and we have the Three of Wands. So this is like waiting for your ship to come in, and you set your plans in motion back here. And right now, a lot of the things that you're doing this month are just kind of waiting to get the message, waiting to get the phone call or the text, waiting till you see a sign, waiting till the time is right. Maybe you've got something planned, but it's like later on in the summer or in the fall, later on in the year. And so you feel like your life is just like on hold. You can't really proceed with what you want to do until the time arrives. So you're just freaking waiting around for it. I get it. Next, we have your work. And we have the Eight of Swords reversed. So you're currently in the process of trying to um, reimagine your role in your job or career, or maybe even find a new job. But it's going to be a long process because there's a lot of extenuating circumstances surrounding it. You can't just up and leave and get another job. Maybe you have a lot of bills to pay, and you need to make sure that you keep those up and good. And starting a new job right now would upset all of that. Maybe you're trying to reinvent your image at work, or something like that. Like maybe you don't really like the way you were being viewed, or the responsibilities you were being given. And it's taking a long time to um, put down the foundation of the new behavior and the new connections and the new energy around yourself, so that you can be seen in this new way, the way of your preference, so that you can free yourself of kind of a mess. And this card, upright or reverse, shows a situation that has been going on a long time, that we have created for ourselves, usually, and that is, we can get out of it, but it takes a lot of effort and a lot of time to dismantle it brick by brick. And so, the again, you have a little bit more stagnation there in your work as well as your home, where things probably just aren't moving as fast as you'd like them to. And being Sagittarius rising, I guess you might just be a little impatient in general in life. But either way, it's not fun to know where you're headed, and have a plan and a desire, and put that energy out there, and then life's just slowly inching along, and you're like, I already know what I want to do, let's get on with it. And results are not forthcoming. In your relationship, this could either be a romantic relationship, a business partnership, this is a close friend, maybe even a family member. You have the hangman. So this is also a time, even maybe of separation from your relationship, which I find interesting with the companion. Or it's a time of considering things from a new angle, where maybe we need to have a serious talk about what our true desires are, or how we feel about each other in the relationship. Maybe it's time to reconsider where this is going, and try to look at things from a new perspective. And maybe you're attempting to start to see things more from your person's perspective, and find a new perspective, so that you can better understand them, and better have a good relationship with them. And that, again, that's a powerful card there with your a major card there in your seventh house, which correctly, it was an assumption that people are going to be paramount this month for you. Especially with the stagnation in other areas of your life, I think it's kind of the universe saying, like, don't worry about that right now. That's for another time. You need to focus on your relationships right now, because there's something that needs attended to. Now, this is the eighth house is what others have. And we have strength, which is a card of patience and persistence and gentle willpower, and staying the course, and trying to kill a fruit fly on my table. And, that's interesting, because for you, I kind of see you as trying to just move things along, and your person is willing to be patient with you. And they're just like, okay, well, I just need you to see my way. They may be a little bit stubborn. In this context, I don't see that as particularly negative. I see it as they are a person who is determined in such a way that they have a lot of inertia behind what they're doing. They're not changing very often. They kind of have their set ways. They are capable of change. It just takes a lot for that to happen, because they're rather comfortable with their worldview and who they are, and they may consider others' points of view, but they're not necessarily going to change their own all that often. And that could be quite different from the way that you see the world, Sagittarius rising. And so that's why this reading in particular is wanting you to put a focus on trying to understand that mind frame. And that's going to require some introspection on your part and probably some communication with them as well. But they're patient. They're here. They're waiting. They're chilling, and they have the fortitude and the discipline to stick it out with you, even if you may be erratic or kind of flighty at times. They're here for the marathon for right now, anyway. So next we have what you're learning, and it's the King of Swords upright. So this is a card of a person who is good judgment, very fair, listens to other people's perspectives, is decisive, but makes sure that what they're decisive about is not so rigid that it can't be understanding to the nuance of a situation. Very smart, very sharp. And with this is something that you're learning, this just goes back to understanding your person's perspective, because I think companionship it clearly has something very important to say to you this month, and you need to be able to listen and be objective. There's very objective, the King of Swords, where it's like, let me step outside of myself and let's look at what's going on here from the most objective point of view that we possibly can have, beyond what's wrong or right, into a place of what is an acceptable compromise, what's an acceptable difficulty that this person might be putting me through that I can accept, because no one is perfect and no two people will ever have the same desires, goals, and communication styles or needs or anything like that. There's always going to be compromise in a relationship, and the question is the juice worth the squeeze? And I think that's what you're being asked to determine here. So next is what you've built. Two of Cups reversed. I mean, I don't know. Have you been in and out of a lot of relationships? Have you had a hard time reconciling with people that are very different from you? Because this is suggesting that when you have Two of Cups, it's two people from very different backgrounds. If you look at the imagery of the card, you have people dressed completely different. And that's a metaphor imagery for people with very different things to offer, but they're coming together because each one has the strength to complement the other's weakness, and that is the best type and the most common type of connection, especially in love relationships, is that both parties make each other stronger as a whole. If two people were too similar, there would be nothing energizing about the connection. And there would also be a very strong, there would be a huge blind spot and weak spot for the couple, as well as way too much energy in another place that would lead to extremism. So you definitely need opposites attract. You need that kind of vibe. But with this is what you've created up till now, is suggesting that you have been interacting with people that are very different from you. And Sagittarius rising, I mean, I can kind of see this. Just saying, you know what, you're just too different. I don't want to compromise. This relationship isn't worth it to me. I'm out. And that's fine. But it looks like you are treating companionship with a little bit more value right now, where it's like, man, I could really benefit from having someone being in my corner, helping me get through this world, and helping me even pay the bills, or having someone to rely on, to talk to hear my problems and things like that. Remember that for anything that you want to get out of another person, you also have to give. And remember that when you're dealing with someone that's very different from you, both parties are going to have to make a repeated effort to understand that other people do not come from the same place that we do. And I think it's natural for everybody at some point in their lives to assume that others think the way that we do, that they have the same values, the same experiences. It's just sort of like a natural instinct thing, but it's absolutely untrue. And so when you start assuming that other people have the same values as you do, you start not seeing them for who they really are, and that can lead you into some trouble in relationships. So again, this is going back. You got a lot of emphasis on relationship here. So let's see what else we got. Friends, we've got 7 of Cups. I mean, are you looking for a grass is greener situation here? That your person is very patient with you, but you're over here like, well, but they're not this, and this other person over here is, or like I could have anything that I want, and look at this person over here has this kind of personality, and that's really interesting to me, and this person over here has that kind of personality, and you're kind of in this mindset of like you could have it all. That doesn't exist. But there is something that you can have that's very wonderful from a relationship and a companionship, particularly a long-term one. It's not that it has nothing to give you. The question is, do you want it bad enough? Are you willing to give up what you have to give up to get it? Which it's fair to answer in either positively or negatively to that. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But do remember that you can't get something for nothing in this world. And certainly not a long-lasting and stable relationship. There's going to have to be compromise. There's going to have to be priorities that are moved down the list. So if both parties in a relationship put the continuation and the health of the relationship first, you're golden. You can get through a lot of bullshit. But that also means that some of these other dreams, like I wanted to move and live on the beach, and my partner absolutely doesn't want that. And because that desire to live on the beach is just below that desire to keep this relationship going, living on the beach, it could have to go. That may be a dream that you have to let go of in order to continue the relationship. And, keeping tallies of that of like, well, I gave up my dream of living on the beach, so you need to give up your dream of doing this other thing that is pissing me off. I mean, you can go there. It is reasonable to be fair about like that kind of thing. It's important to have a very strong sense of understanding of how it would make that person feel if they were to compromise. Let's use this beach analogy thing, right? Let's say that person that you're with, they don't really have any ties to where you live now, and they're kind of like don't really care about where they live too much. It would be a bit of a problem for them to pick up from their job, find a new job where you want to go and do all those things. But for the most part, they may be happy there. Well, I think that's a reasonable thing to ask them to compromise on is, would you please, be willing to find a new job and uproot your life to come live with me on the beach, because that's my dream. And that's something they may want to compromise with you on. Alternatively, this person may have very strong family ties where you live, and their family is really important to them. Maybe they have an aging parent that they want to be a caregiver for, or they have younger siblings or nieces and nephews, or maybe even a child from a previous relationship that live in the area, and they want to be a part of their lives and are not okay with moving far away. That is probably an unreasonable ask for that person, for them to move with you to make your dream happen, because it's destroying their dream. So these kinds of things all have to be talked about and deeply considered by yourself, to say, what are you willing to give up? What can you ask another person to give up for you? And if there's non-negotiables at the end of the day, it may just not work out. But these are tough questions. Be kind to yourself when going through this process, especially if you've had failures in the past. You may not have high hopes for your current relationship and where it's going, because you're like, oh, it just never worked out and everything. And maybe we can get some more information about what you can do to kind of alleviate that. But your final card in your limitation is the Knight of Swords, which you just kind of want to rush things. We already talked about that. Let's just rush in. I already got the idea and the plan. Let's get it done. Let's go. Let's go in. And there's also an element of the Knight of Swords that wants to be of help to other people. That would kind of like the knight, a white knight, right? It's that archetype, and that is limiting you in your ability to, first of all, be patient and wait for things to play out the way that they're going to, but also to understand your partner who is not of that energy at all. So let's get some more information with your next deck. I feel like I got totally lost in my thoughts when I was talking about that. I've been married for 14 years now. Like, I mean, I put relationship, and so did my husband, above everything. Because that was what was in our hearts from childhood. Like, neither one of us really cared about having any particular career or any particular lifestyle, living anywhere, doing anything. The only thing that was in both of our minds all through childhood was, I want to find my person. Shared similar traumatic experiences is how that happened. So when it came to finding each other in high school, actually, coincidentally, serendipitously, however it happened, we both had the same goal and vision, although we are very different people in a lot of ways, and it required a lot from us. So I know a lot about that situation, and you know, I hope what I have to say on it makes some sense, because I don't want to be dismissive of anyone that is really trying to make a relationship work and is kind of struggling with everything that it's asking of you. There's never a right answer to it. I feel like answering yes or no to, do I want to continue in this relationship, is a question that can be asked of you almost on a daily basis when you're going through some tough times, and is still something that will be asked regularly when things come up. Is like, okay, well, things have been good up till now, but now we're in this really shitty situation, and the question is, do I want to continue? And it's like, you have to keep recommitting if you want to keep it going. All right. So we'll pull from the Mystic Mondays deck. Oh. I like this so far. This is cute. Okay, you got some details you need to attend to, which doesn't shock me as a Sagittarius that you've missed some of those. That's okay. Yeah, you have a new love coming in for you with the Ace of Cups there. Okay. What are you hoping for? You want to get all severe up in here? The Queen of Swords reversed. And what are we letting go of? What do we need to let go of for Sagittarius rising? Sometimes I hate when I'm right, you know, because it's like, I just want things to be easy for everybody. Okay. So, starting out, we have the Knight of Cups as who you are, who you actually are, not just who you appear to be. And Knight of Cups is an open-hearted, romantic, giving, um, passionate person who really puts on a sweet face and um, wants to sweep someone off their feet, and it's just showing up as like Prince Charming, or it's just very like, it could be love bombing a little bit. I'm not suggesting you are, but it's in that same vein of like, I just want to romance you, and like very like high on the romance and the excitement of that energy. And what you value, you have the King of Swords reversed. I'm seeing a similarity here. You have both the Queen and the King of Swords reversed. So you fucking up a little bit here, and I'll tell you why. You're valuing your truth above all others. You're valuing your say-so at the end of the day. That's just too severe, especially if you're trying to be in a relationship. It's your way or the highway, and that ain't gonna fly for very long with people who are self-respecting and self-loving. And do you really want to be with someone that doesn't love themselves and that's just going to be your little bitch? That sucks. No. So what do we do about this? You're dissatisfied with things that are being offered to you. Someone saying like, well, this is who I am and what I'm about. And you're just like, well, that's not me. So fuck you, get out. It's rhyming, and it's, that's just not going to work in a relationship. If this is something that you want to pursue, you're going to need to soften and be open to new ideas, be open to giving. There's something that I learned about love way freaking late in the game. Like, I had already been married for almost 10 years by the time I finally learned this, because I was the selfish person in the relationship as it was. And I realized that love isn't just about enjoying someone's energy, them making you laugh, thinking that they're attractive, wanting to do nice things for them when it's convenient. Love is wanting and being willing to do things for them when it's not convenient, when it requires something from you that takes you out of your comfort zone, or costs you some money, or costs you some time, or something that you really just don't want to do, but it's the kind thing to do. It's the thing that they need more than you need to not do it, and stay in your comfort zone, or get what you want, your desires and whatever out of the situation. Being able to be truly loving is often uncomfortable, not fun, a bit of a chore on a surface, because that's the way it seemed before I actually started doing those things and realized that you have so like this surge of like, especially if you've known that person a long time, they're like, oh, you did this for me, I didn't expect this of you, and everything, and you just feel like a sense of accomplishment that you overcame your own selfish desires and your own laziness or whatever it was, to do something kind for the person that you love. And and it also has so many other dividends to pay off too, just in your life, when you start doing that. Because then when you start that chain and that cycle of giving selflessly to your person, y'all start. That's how y'all start building empires, and y'all start gaining security and wealth and forward momentum, and really start working as a team, as when both parties understand that concept. And I am sorry to my husband, that took me so damn long to figure that one out. So moving on to what needs to change with the Eight of Pentacles, you need to start building consistency. This is something that you need to stick with, and it's going to take you some time to figure out. You don't know the situation yet. You haven't been. This is Ace of Cups in your 7th house. That's your person. This is a new relationship that we're talking about, or a new phase of one, and you have not yet experienced this. And it's something that you're going to have to practice to get good at. It's something you're going to have to put time into. It's something that you're going to have to experience some level of repetition. And it's something that's uh, you're gonna have to work at. Um, Again, you get what you give, and you got to start giving your time, your effort, and your patience and persistence to get the payoffs that you're really wanting. So at the base, and this is why you're wanting it right here. You're motivated by the King of Pentacles upright, which is interesting because you had this Knight of Pentacles reversed as what's actually going on. This couldn't be more different. It's in the same theme of the Pentacles, that stability and that consistency and that comfort, where you're not experiencing stability and consistency. You're just experiencing stagnation and a lack of resources coming in and a lack of abundance. And that's what you're wanting. You're wanting to have that stable home and family. Um, it may be a little bit foreign to you with Sagittarius rising. That also tells me that you have Pisces on the fourth house, which is a position where you're growing up where there wasn't a lot of stability, where maybe there was drug abuse in the home or mental illness or emotional dysregulation. Maybe a parent left or was unavailable early on. Maybe things were nebulous in the home where you didn't really know whether you were coming or going. You are looking to repair that and gain some freaking stability. You want to have a garden. You want to have a nice set of furniture. You want to live in a stable place for more than a year. And you want to build all that with another person. And in fact, what needs to change is you've got the Ten of Cups, which is the family card. And, you're waiting around for something to happen to you when you're not realizing that to get this loving sense of unity and belongingness and building this emotional achievement, which is what a family is an emotional achievement. It requires input from you and from quite a long-term plan, a long-term input and work and time for all of that to develop and grow. Because what you're asking for is an oak tree, and what you're offering is watering an acorn seed for, a year. And then you're just like, well, you're not a tree yet. I'm out. I mean, that's what we're dealing with. So you have to ask yourself, do you really want what you say you want? Because the journey to that is very fulfilling as well, and it heals a lot of wounds that you might have with this Pisces fourth house. But it's also could challenge some of your coping mechanisms that you've developed to stay on your feet and keep things moving, keep things changing, so that you never get stuck in something that's hurtful, harmful, hold you back. So next we have the details that you may be missing. So this is where we got 3 cards for you. Two of Swords first. You need to make a choice. You need to make a commitment. Don't stay on the fence. 4 of Wands reversed. This is usually a card of home. When it's upright, it can also be a card of celebrations when it's upright. When it's reversed, I see this as celebrating before you've made the harvest, counting your chickens before they've hatched, thinking something's over before it's really run its course, maybe as well. Like you haven't tried to see a serious issue through in a relationship before. You came to a crossroads and then you just dipset and didn't really spend the time to think about this is not a permanent thing. There is a solution to this, although it's not forthcoming at this moment. And not everything has to be roses and fun and excitement. There's all types of different emotions out there. And I'm going to get bored of fun and excitement at some point when there's no consistency and stability. There's no long-term, deep emotional satisfaction that comes from knowing someone and building a life together with someone over a long period of time. The last thing is the 6 of Swords, just as a runner card. Running from out of troubled waters. This showing up as a detail for you that you uh, may be missing is that I feel like you sometimes you think you're running away from troubled waters when you're just going back in a circle to the troubled waters that you came from. The problem is that they're so familiar to you that you don't realize that it's you have something better out there if you just push through something that's unfamiliar rather than going back to the familiar dog shit. Again, in your other people involved, new love, they have something very beautiful to offer you with this Ace of Cups. Yeah, the Ace of Cups, Ace of Cups. This is really special, and it's not something that you're going to see every day. You have something that a lot of people hope for and dream for. Just fell into your lap right now, and the universe is saying, "Here, we made this part easy for you. The hard part is." Are you going to acknowledge what it is that you really want right now? What's driving you? Accept that that's something that's driving you, and then acknowledge what you have to do in order to get it. And it's an offer. You can reject it or accept it. But I'm already looking at this Nine of Cups here and what you need to release. If you don't accept what it requires to make this dream a reality, it's important that you release the dream completely. And I don't know, that's a hot take. I think a lot of people are like, don't give up on your dreams and blah, blah, blah. But like, some dreams aren't worth having if you're not willing to do what it takes to get them. In fact, that just creates resentment and malaise, and it closes doors for you, or not closes doors, but it prevents you from even trying to open new doors. You're stuck on this dream that you're not willing to work for or do what it takes, which is okay, by the way. I don't think people say that either. It's like, if you don't want that dream badly enough to give all this stuff in exchange, that's okay. But don't torture yourself by still holding on to this dream. Acknowledge what it's going to take to get there, and then make your decision. With the Two of Swords, make your decision whether this is right for you or not. And it's not ever going to be 100% thing. Maybe, down the line, you're looking at like, well, 80% of me wanted it, but 20% still wishes I could have my freedom. That's normal, and that's okay. Just make sure that your percentage that's higher is in the direction of what you're actually doing and not what you're wishing for, but you're not willing to do, if that makes sense. So, following up from that, we have the Two of Pentacles reversed in the Secrets. And I guess you don't know this yet, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, and I sound really sarcastic when I'm saying this, and it's just because I'm Scorpio rising, okay? But what you're trying to do here, building a stable life, is not all fun and games, and it's also not all that exciting a lot of times. You're going to be a lot of repetition, boring. We already did this. The excitement of when you're first in a relationship, if you stay in that relationship, that you will never have that back. You'll have other things, but it won't be the same as that exhilaration of, oh my gosh, this person likes me and I'm just learning all about them and we're doing it for the first time, or like, that is the puppy love stage. And when it's over, it's over. And I think chasing that high is what's kept you on this wheel where you're never able to build something with someone, because you're always trying to find that again, and you realize you can't find that again in that person. And you're right, you can't. But without being too negative about it, there are other things that you can have with this person when you develop a longer term relationship with them that are very beautiful and worthwhile and have their own value. They just don't feel the same. And what those things are and how they feel, you'll kind of have to figure out for yourself. But if I speak from experience, just to give you a little hint of like, hey, this is what you could get if you do this, if you want to. You have a shared experience that is like having a very old friendship where you have all these stories and things that you've done together. You have someone that you know so well, they're like an extension of yourself, and their energy is always a part of you, and you never feel alone. Even when you are alone, you always have that person's energy in your world, and they have yours as well. You have someone to split the bills with, someone to split the figuring out of things. Wherever you're deficient, they're typically probably strong in those things. That's not uncommon. It's actually very common. And you don't even have to figure all that shit out. You don't have to be like, okay, here's my checklist. I suck at doing taxes. Are you good at them? Okay, you're good. You're in. It's not, the universe sets it up for that, for us. They set it up. You don't even have to figure all that shit out. And there's a lot more that's even more untangible, but it's like having another self in the world, and it can be difficult. What am I trying to say? Be careful, because sometimes you over-identify with that person and you don't see them as an individual anymore. So that can happen. That's a problem for later down the road. But it's like a sibling or a twin, but it's also someone that you're so motivated to find new ways to love that you're constantly discovering things about them. And there will be something about that person for you that if you choose to put that focus on them, you will continually be surprised and inspired by your person. And I think because this is a difficult issue for you, I imagine the universe probably gave you a pretty good one. Moving forward, what is your aspiration? We already kind of talked about this a little bit because it dovetailed with the King of Swords reverse. You've got the Queen of Swords reverse, which is when I said at the beginning, this get all severe up in here. Interestingly, this is right on top of the King of Swords upright. You have this swords energy a lot in here. And this is about your thoughts and beliefs and ideals and your whole worldview, really. And you're just too severe and to be able to be in a partnership right now, and you need to listen to what others are saying. I have a lot of repeating cards here. So you have the energy within you. You just need to reconfigure it a little bit and make it work for you. Like, you have the knowledge. You just need to just tweak it a little bit. So with this, you are capable of communicating well and thinking logically, but you need to apply that to a new task, not the task of defending yourself and making your stake in the world and declaring your beliefs and what you know is right and what you want. Now you need to direct that towards understanding this other person for the betterment of a relationship. And at last, if you do what you need to do, what will be the end result? And we're seeing the Four of Cups here. So this isn't a breakup. This is we're going on and moving on back to this Four of Cups. It's saying that this is going to take some time, and it's not going to be resolved by the end of June of this year. Okay, it's saying that what's going to be offered to you in the immediate near future is not going to be what you're looking for. However, you're still going to be on that path, because the path from I've been doing this reading for such a long time. I need to wrap it up. The path from the Ace of Cups to the Ten of Cups takes years. And you know, you're going to get to a Four of Cups level where you've had your excitement, this new love, Two of Cups. You've said, I'll be your boyfriend, I'll be your girlfriend, or whatever the case is. And then you've got the Three of Cups where it's like, oh my God, everything's so happy and joyful and puppy love and like enjoyment and pleasure and everything. And then you're at the Four of Cups where it's like, okay, here's more enjoyment, here's more pleasure, but it's just not hitting like it used to. And that's where you're going to be at the end of June. If you kind of want to pursue this relationship. And then you're going to go through the Five of Cups where you're going to mourn what used to be, and that you're not going to really have that puppy love stage with this person anymore. But then at the lesson of the Five of Cups is to look to what you still have and what's waiting for you on the other side of the bridge, because there's a lot and you don't know what that is because you've never gotten to that stage before. And then you have the Six of Cups where maybe you're being able to have shared experiences and reminisce, or maybe things become more familiar. Someone moves in with each other, or things get more committed, or maybe even there's a kid, or something like that. And then, Seven of Cups, mind starts to wander. Eight of Cups, you might talk about walking away. Nine of Cups, your dreams come true. 10 of Cups, you get the family. I mean, it's such a long process. And like, if you're thinking about everything I just said, is that all going to happen in 1 month or even 1 year? Or even 5 years, like, no. So this is just a season and a flavor of what's going on in your life. And if it's in your heart to keep this person in your life, be patient with it and be patient with yourself. This is new and it's definitely worth it for the right person. So moving on, this is your contribution. You're giving someone resources. You're giving someone your time, your effort, your energy, and the seed of a new, secure, and stable lifestyle, if you proceed upon this path. And then what needs releasing, we already talked about a little bit with the Nine of Cups. With if this isn't something that you want, you need to let go of the desire for companionship long term, completely. But I also suggest that if you don't want to let that go, if you feel like that's one of your top priorities, then this goes back to what I was saying before about the dream of the beach. And it may be necessary for you to let go of another dream that's incompatible with the relationship if it ranks lower on the freaking tier list. So that is something I tell a lot of people when we talk about relationships, is something that no one else wants to talk about, is sometimes you have to let dreams go to sustain a dream that you found was more important. And that's just the tea. So now that we've gotten through all that, I feel like I need a drink. I'm going to pull a card for you. What's a good relationship deck? Oh, yeah. What's the vibe? We're going to do what's the vibe for you. Sagittarius rising, if you're still with me, I can't believe it after all that freaking talking that I did. But I hope that it was interesting, informative, useful, or stupid, but at least it had your attention. And thank you so much for being here with me. I'm going to be doing these readings once a month as the life checkup for all the rising signs. But I'm also going to be doing Venus relationship sign readings, which, I mean, definitely after this reading, you'll definitely want to tune into that for whatever your Venus sign is. And lots of other readings as well. I have ideas for doing like true crime, mysteries, pop culture, things going on in society right now, pressing questions that we all need answers for. If you've got any reading ideas that you want me to check into, definitely let me know in the comments below. But having said all of that, let's pull a card or two for you. Okay. Hold up. We're taking these up, right? Okay. Okay. So we've got nurturing, hopeless, and blocked. All right. So here's what I see as a ongoing pattern with you, and how these relationships has gone, and maybe even like what you're kind of manifesting as your expectation. Is there's a nurturing phase where someone is giving while someone is depressed, someone is going through difficult times, where someone is trying to carry it and the other person is going through difficulties. I don't know which of these you were at the time. You know, but it may be different for different people that are watching this. But when this situation happened where things were unequal and you were having to carry someone, whether you were being carried or they were being carried, then it was time to be blocked. We're moving on. This isn't an equal partnership right now. I'm not okay with you not pulling your own weight because you're really depressed, you're going through a tough time. Like, I feel sorry for you. I'm sorry. But if I can't have an equality partnership, then I got to go. If that's indeed the case of what it was, or maybe you were in a depressive state and the people that you were with were like, this, you're asking too much of me. I have to go. So what I have to say to that is that that is also a part, and I didn't even mention this, but I'm glad this brought this up. That is a fundamental part of any long-term relationship, is carrying each other when you're down. And it's actually one of the best benefits of having a long-term relationship. But both parties need to know that a certain level of carrying someone, it's down to the individuals involved to say how much is okay and when is enough, and to set prudent boundaries of like, I'm okay with you not working for a couple months while you kind of rest and recover and get back on your feet. But if you don't start bringing money in, and it's been 3-4 months, like, where's my teammate? Where's my partner? Like, you should have been doing the work to get better by eating well, or resting, or seeing a therapist, or there needs to be steps taken for the person that's being carried. I think it's fair to ask to see steps being taken to recover and get back in it, because there will come a time in a couple years that the other person now is needing to be carried. And if you're not well, then I'm not well, then the whole thing is coming to a crashing halt. And then what did I just put in all this time for, carrying you, for you to not even be there available to me? So always look for that type of reciprocation in someone when you're in a relationship and someone is having a tough time. Look to them to be making steps, however small, incremental, and regular steps towards getting well, and the some level of appreciation. It doesn't have to be like, oh, thank you so much for taking care of me, but like some level of acknowledgement that because you're there taking care of them, or vice versa, they're there taking care of you. Acknowledgement that thanks to you being able to take care of me, I can now take time to recover from whatever difficulty I'm going through, and then get back in it with life, instead of losing everything that we've built together, or we've even built for ourselves individually. So if that's a theme that's gone on in your life and relationships in past, it's totally fine to set boundaries for the person that is in need at that time. And it's also should be expected that there will be years long in some relationships where someone is kind of not doing so well and the other person has to carry them. And that definitely can happen. It's happened in my relationship for both of us. And I don't know if that happens in every relationship to that extreme. But again, this goes back to, this is a question that has to be asked and answered continually throughout a relationship. And it's not something that you can say right at the beginning, I am going to stick through absolutely everything with you. Or if you do this certain thing, I know that's going to be a breaking point for me. The scenario and the answers to those questions are always changing and can't really be predicted. The best that you can do is at the beginning, make sure that your person puts the relationship as top priority, and that you are doing the same. And that's something in your heart that's been ongoing for a long time. That is really your best and only assurance that you're going to be able to make it through those tough times, because you don't know what life is going to throw at you. Either way, be kind to yourself and good luck this month. And I hope to see you again soon. Whether you're here for a moment, a minute, or a marathon, thank you so much. Bye.